Can you believe it? We've been here 2 years already on this 14 acres, and today is the year in review. After moving from California to North Carolina on 1.5 acres, we outgrew that place in 6 years, and last year we moved to this 14 acres. You buy a new property, you're excited, you want to get all the animals, and last year, definitely, we got all the animals. In 2023, we said, okay, we're not gonna get bigger animals, like beef cows or a milk cow. Not that I regret it, I loved it, we learned a ton last year, but we did realize that we need fencing, we need water, because hauling 5-gallon buckets of water on 14 acres compared to 1.5 acres, it's a lot of work, especially if you don't have a farm vehicle or a tractor. This year there was a lot of firsts. We got bees. There was babies born on the homestead for the first time. I got a farm vehicle. We started a big garden, and we started our high tunnel greenhouse. Every year has its own set of challenges. As you raise your own animals, and the larger animals, there's one that's bound to get sick. Hey pigs. And right off the bat, in the beginning of the year, we experienced our first sick pig. What's up? We gave pigs charcoal before in hopes that this can cure them. You're not acting like a pig. Oh, she's eating it. Pigs are smart. They know when they're not feeling good. Those ones are still eating. There she goes. Yeah, she seems a lot like night and day from like a minute ago. They are chowing down on that charcoal. Maybe they're lacking some kind of mineral, but they're eating it. She seems a lot better. I was eager to wake up early the next day, but it was raining quite a bit. I think we have a sick pig, or she's not acting like a pig. It's concerning me. Hey pig. But she didn't even come to the feed at all. She just kind of stayed in this little hut. You all right? I'm not sure what's up. I gave them some charcoal, apple cider vinegar, they got water, feed, kelp. I'm also giving her some activated charcoal in the food. I'm gonna see what she's gonna do with it. I don't notice any signs of diarrhea or nothing. She just doesn't want it. All right, it's the next day, and look who's up. That's the one that I thought that was sick. Look at this. She's out, she's eating. What happened? And so maybe it was that charcoal I initially gave them yesterday. Maybe that helped her. Let's check on our pigs here. Hey pigs, there she is. That's what I want to see. Acting like pigs, there you are. Here she's coming on. She's acting like a pig. The charcoal, the sun, maybe it was that helped her seem to be normal now. I don't think I've mentioned this in a video, but we lost Fuzzy Muggins last year. Fuzzy! We lost her to a predator. It was a hawk. She was a Polish chicken. She was not a very good egg layer, and she was kind of high maintenance. In the winter, we would have to trim her feathers on top of her, because when she dipped her beak in water, it would form icicles. Not sure if I would get a chicken like that again, but she was super entertaining. The good thing though, guys, is that we have a Fuzzy Muggins t-shirt that you can buy, and fuzzy magnets for your fridge. We had some good rains recently. I just put on this gutter on our shed here that I'm converting into a brooder, and I've been using it. It's working, guys. This is great, but I do need another one right beside it. That got me thinking, what if I had another shed similar to this up on top of our mountain, and I saved water up there, so that way I can feed our animals that are up on the mountain. Hey pigs, I got more feed. The Kuni Kunis are fine. They're not the ones that got sick. It's our feeder pig. One of our feeder pigs was sick. Hey, look at them. They're fine now. She's fine. She's acting like a pig. Excuse me. Our one steer seems to be doing pretty good. You know, we feed him hay and alfalfa, and we give him little treats. I got a treat, orange peel. So when we bought this property, there was nobody living here full time. It was a vacation home for someone. And being that, it was very overgrown. And so I think this year, big job that we had to get done was clear fence lines, so that way we can start redoing the fence line. We gotta get in there before spring comes, and all this stuff is gonna be overgrown again. So that's my goal. Move you guys over here. It's gonna make raising larger animals a little bit more easier for us if we can utilize this fence line. This property is gonna keep me young, man. Oh, 345 feet that we've done total, all together. Which means from the barn all the way to this corner post. Hey pigs, hey pigs. Howdy, howdy. And after all last year of using a hotspot to upload these videos, we finally got decent internet. I mean, the best country internet that we got was on top of our property. I mean, sometimes it would take 2 days to upload a video, but Starlink was finally available in our area. And this works 10 times better than a hotspot. So now we have decent internet to upload our videos. All right, y'all, I'm about to show you where all the magic happens and where we store all of our food. Being that we have a limited height here, we still want to utilize that height. Because if you notice on these shelves that we had, they weren't very tall, so we had all that wasted space. So the shelves need to be a little bit taller. Plus it's custom. And that is it. This is the start of turning our basement into our own grocery store.
This is my first time seeing them. I'm so excited. It looks so good. It's so big. This is better because I can see how much I have and how much we can go through. Way more room to hoard my food. Oh, I'm so excited.
All right, today we're moving our pigs into a different location. It should be routine. You better calm down. You better calm down. Easiest way to move pigs is have a chicken tractor where you can put them in and close the door. I don't trust no pig. Excuse me, excuse me. And then you close the door. We gotta take down the hog panels. They're zip tied. We're still training them to this hot wire. And I'm thinking the next time we move them, we're gonna move them without the hog panels. Hey pigs.
Look at that one's already starting to root up.
After a few days out in Texas, it's good to be back on the homestead. Good morning. Still no babies yet with these two. And honestly, I'm thinking we're gonna sell them. You know, it's just not happening, and we wanna do other things. You got water, yep. We got a ton of rain yesterday. Our pond filled up there. Before we move him out here, I want to move him out towards the woods, so that way that beefy boy there is kind of in my way, so I need to move him over here. Beefy boy here is coming on 2 years old, and I've had him for almost a year. Come on, beefy boy. Come on. Let's move. Let's move. There we go. This side doesn't look that much different than that side. You know, we're still gonna feed them hay. You know, grass is not growing yet, even though it does feel warmish. All right, Lorraine's winding that part up. No worries, we have more hoses. Should start a hose company with all the hoses we use. I mean, he's dropping his bombs. I've never have to deal with so much poop in my life. I mean, look at this. This rubber, I don't know what happened, if they stepped in it or what, but it's cracked right there. And a heavy duty scissors. Well, yeah, it's amazing what they'll know, right? They're super smart. You know, they'll just lift this up with their head and get in there. It's like they know instincts. Their instincts just tells them this is what you need to do. Hey, beefy boy. You know, we have him by himself right now. So I'm still mindful that he could think I'm one of his beefy boys. There you go. He's so gentle. He's never remotely been afraid of my life. You just have to be mindful of bigger animals like that. You know, it could happen. Things could happen. No matter if you're in a rural setting or if you're living in the city, you're always going to have a problem with stray dogs. So lately we've been having a problem with that. 2 stray dogs came on our property and were chasing our chickens. One time in the summer, a stray dog was chasing our steers around. Slowly I've been taking out all this trash that was here when we moved. You know, nobody likes taking out other people's trash, but somebody has to do it. These doors are not really serving a purpose right now. They're all rotted out and falling apart. Since I first saw this property, I have always wanted to do that. We have 75 meat chickens coming in 43 days. Will it ever stop? Jason, it's never gonna stop. Because it's scrap wood, you just kind of have to figure it out depending on the size of your scrap wood. I am going to use a deep bedding system for these baby chickens. The floor needed to be waterproof, and I'm going to use this vinyl to do that. We just moved these 3 feeder pigs to a new area. The pigs are helping us work the soil in this area. All right, guys. Because this is the most flat part of the property here, let's put you guys down. This right here is where going to be the opening of our high tunnel. We'll probably end up taking that tree down and some of the trees that are up here. Come on. Typically we buy New Country Organics for all of our animals. Best feed money can buy. But recently I switched to just a no GMO feed just to save money. Because getting feed is like searching for car insurance. Every single year I go down the list of feed companies, I see which one's the best deal. That's the no GMO pelleted feed there. And that's the New Country Organics feed. Also, the no GMO stuff has no corn in it. These look like I would put this in my smoker. Like, these look like wood pellets. Let's do the no GMO for these feeder pigs. It's been a week now and they have not been eating the feed. We just fed these guys this morning and they still have feed. Look at that. coonies, they have no problem eating this feed. Are you fixed, Zeke? I'm beginning to think Zeke's fixed. Poor Zeke. Poor Zeke. These guys are 2 years old, and that's how long it takes to grow a cooney to put them in your freezer. We're gonna end up putting them in our freezer is what's gonna happen. They're too cute, guys. They're too cute.
They're too cute.
It's gonna be some high dollar bacon, I'll tell you that. So it looks like we need to mix the feed up with something. Luckily, Lorraine has made a ton of broth, more than we can ever eat. We're putting the broth into another container so it'll be easy transportation.
It'll just be easier to pour out too, especially when you've got like pigs running around and...
I got your Kool-Aid. There's still feed on the floor, guys. There's still feed on the floor that you guys spilled. See the feed right here. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. You got your Kool-Aid. We're gonna put some of this turkey broth. We're gonna mix it in. I'm not gonna give them all of it. Hold on. That's it. That's it, guys. You got feed there.
I've never heard of pigs being picky before. Like, pigs eat whatever you give them.
Right. I mean, if the pigs won't even eat it, I've bought this feed before. I never had a problem. Spoiled pigs. They're just spoiled, I think. I'm usually on that side going up the hill, but today I'm going to work on this side of the barn and go along the side here. Plenty of brambles, horse fencing, all that just leaning up on there. I'm gonna use a chainsaw blade for this. Definitely blueberries, because we picked some last year. Good morning, guys. Today we are moving out one of our groups of egg-laying chickens. We're moving them out on the property. Birdies! Good morning, birdies! You too, birdies!
This thing is so easy to move far away in like up and down hills and stuff.
The other egg layer coop, which is a Siskovich style, it's even though it's smaller, it's still cumbersome to be dragging it up our hills. So we definitely needed something more lighter. That's probably why we've never brought them up this way. So what's for breakfast? What is that? What is that?
This is Meg's scrapple recipe. Out here you could either call it scrapple or liver mush.
I like to call it liver mush. I think it's a better sounding name. Liver mush.
Well, this one actually does have liver in it. So we did like 4 cups of pork and then 2 cups of liver and onions. So we're frying it up in some butter.
Penelope's making waffles this morning. Look at this. What kind of waffles are these, Penelope?
Einkorn waffles.
Einkorn? We had the same liver mush yesterday for breakfast. And honestly, that was the first time I'm having liver mush. Crispy on the outside, soft in the middle. There's liver in there, but you don't taste it at all. It tastes like sausage, is what it tastes like to me.
Actually, I think it tastes like hash browns.
Or that,
like
yeah.
Crispy on the outside hash browns and then soft in the middle.
This shed right here used to be the old horse shed before my big barn was ever built. Also already has electricity in it, but it's not hooked up. I'm gonna try to use it this year as a brooder because we have 75 meat chickens coming in less than a month. Grounding rods, that's something I need to do also. I don't think I need to do it for them to come out and do the meter, but I need to do it anyways. This year was also the first year that I figured out what's my limit. When do I call for help? And clearing our overgrown fence line made me realize that, especially with no tractor. And it definitely is overgrown. This tree fell on the fence right here. I need to cut this down. I think this used to be a logging road, and so we're gonna be clearing this section off so that way we could be able to take a vehicle in here all along the property line. So far I've done 300 feet of fence line, and I'm just doing it by hand. I have a forestry mulcher guy coming out, and he says I could do your entire horse fence line that I've been trying to do. And also my whole property line. He could clear it out in one day. Well, what do you think?
This is amazing to watch. Like,
I know.
This guy is really good.
It's very satisfying.
It is. And like, I think I have a new jogging trail.
And we have a cleared fence line.
Oh man, this is like the best thing that we ever did this year so far.
This thing's like just override. So now he's in the forest here, our woods, and he's gonna do this along the creek and the fence line. Was this pretty hard, difficult for you?
Going up to there was a little,
yeah.
It was a little frustrating. That tree's the only one that you would either have to cut.
This one in the middle?
Yes, but I've got it to where if you wanted to, you could go around it.
Yeah.
That's how I had to do it. There was a couple of trees that had fallen in here.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so open.
Okay. This time last year, I didn't even know of what that was. I didn't know of a forestry mulcher and the possibilities. It's one of those things you don't know what you don't know. But would have taken me probably the entire year, maybe 2 years to do. He did it in 6 hours, the entire property. So now I'm here with the girls, Lorraine and Penelope, and we're just showing them what he did. And I walked it with him, and I cannot believe he did all this. I mean, it's not as much like, there's wood chips, but it's not like in a pile or anything, so it's just kind of like covering the ground. I mean, there's still gonna be cleanup. There's still gonna be a lot of work for me to do.
I think it feels like we have a new property now. Like I don't almost even recognize these woods. Like we were going back here in these woods to tag the certain trees, and now that I'm back here again, I'm like I don't even recognize these little trails that he made, but I'm excited because these trails could be like hiking trails and like jogging trails for us. I think it's so cool.
Today we are putting our last beefy boy into the freezer. Hey beefy boy. In March of last year, we got 2 beefy boy steers. One of them was an Angus Jersey, and we put him in the freezer in December. And when we got them, they were already a year old. Now we've raised our little beefy boy exactly 1 year. So he's 2 years old now. We just picked up our last of our hay, hopefully, for the year because we're gonna be putting Beefy Boy in the freezer. There we go. We raised the 2 Beefy Boys on 100% grass-fed. Our last Beefy Boy was the bigger one of the 2. Butchered him ourselves, we pieced him out ourselves. This time, we're gonna take half the beef to the processor, and then we're gonna cut up the other half ourselves. We butchered one of our Beefy Boys at the end of 2022, so in the beginning of 2023, at springtime, we had 1 Beefy Boy left that we needed to put in the freezer. What has become something that was so unobtainable back then, was a far-off dream, has become our normal. Butchering a large animal and just growing your food in general has become a lost skill that for a lot of us, we're all trying to relearn. Sooner or later, I need to build a walk-in cooler because we've already outgrown this place, and this is how you get into it. You gotta crawl in here and then start hanging this beef. There you go. It's a crawl-in cooler. And we're done. That took an hour and a half of putting him in the cooler, and now we have liver that we need to put away. Okay, it's the next morning, and we are taking half of this beef to a processor. So we decided half of it is going to a processor, and then the other half we're gonna do ourselves. And I just wanna compare the two, you know, see how good our cuts are compared to the processor. Hey guys, today we're in Asheville, North Carolina, and we're at the WNC Ag Center, and we're at the Farm Where You Live event today. We have a booth. I'm speaking today. Joel Salatin's gonna be here, Justin Rhodes. I mean, this is where all the homesteaders are at this weekend. Hey, it's Ben Holler. Hey, what's up? Where's your flannel at?
It was too hot for the flannel today.
I thought this was a flannel convention. Hey.
You're on deck.
Yep. We're kind of at like an old cattle auction, and this is where we're talking. Joel Salatin just talked, so I'm following Joel Salatin. I know, right? I think in previous videos where I talk and I share this day with you, I say I'm nervous, but honestly, I'm not that nervous. All right. Thanks everyone for being here. My name is Jason from Solar Land. How many people here? I'm just curious. Who watches my YouTube channel? Yeah. That's incredible. Thank you guys. I appreciate every single one of you. The season of change is upon us. The Bradford pear trees are starting to grow their flowers. I'm noticing the grass is growing more and more every day. And I'm getting excited to see how the grass responds after moving pigs, chickens, turkeys, steers, geese, all of last year. Even the thorny bushes are starting to get their leaves.
Hey pigs. Hey pigs. Ow. Hey pigs.
Last year, we wanted to get going on growing food in a garden. The soil on this property is very compacted, very clay, and we felt like the fastest way to start growing some food would be in these raised garden beds. And being our first garden, it did pretty good. Because we had just moved last year, we weren't sure if this was the spot that we wanted our garden. We just kind of put it in a spot where we thought was good enough to start. Now that we've had this garden for a year, we grew here, and now we realize that we want it in a different spot. This area right here is where we're gonna put the new garden. This fence right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these posts we have to remove. Now, typically, I would wheelbarrow all of this soil one by one to the new spot. But since my friendly, good neighbor has let me use his tractor, so I get to use a tractor for this time. It's gonna be so nice when there's not a fence right here because we're having to crawl through the fence lines every single time. My neighbor, the one who has his tractor here, he's gonna help me dig these posts out. There we go. Before we bring in the soil, we need to figure out exactly where these are going to be.
Maybe just a little bit closer this way, but I like how you lined them straight, because before, like, everything was kind of off-centered, and I feel like symmetrical is always best.
Where do you want me to stop? Tell me
okay,
to stop.
Right there.
Believe it or not, our 2 breeder pigs, at the end of last season, we were gonna either sell them or put them in our freezer if they did not give us piglets. Are you pregnant, girl? Big girl. Elvira, our Kuni Kuni, is pregnant, so baby watch. Oh boy. So that means that portable other chicken coop that I'm building is gonna take a back seat because we need to make something for Elvira and the babies to come. If you remember my big pig shelter that I built at our 1.5 acres, this is what I'm basically building, except a smaller version that I can move. I got 2 of these brooders done because we have 75 chickens coming next week. We're just gonna pull down on it. You could also use this 6 feet hoop bender to make low tunnels for your garden. I found this excess piece that we saved, and we're just gonna see if it's wide enough. It's a blackout, so we wanna put the white facing up. Pop in that wiggle wire right in there, and it sandwiches the plastic, and it holds it in place. I initially started building this structure for more meat chickens, because those are coming next week. But being that Elvira is due pretty much any week now, we needed something for her and the piglets. So rather than build something new, I decided to turn the chicken coop I was building into a portable pig shelter. Something that I can put a door on it, and if I wanted to contain them in there and move them, I could. This way.
The chicken's following too.
New grass.
Oh, she wants the greens. She wants all those fresh greens.
As you know, I'm trying to get electricity to our barn, and good news, guys. After working on the panel the last few days, the power company came and trenched their line. They buried the line. This is the new line here. This is the old line. This is disconnected. It's not working. The power's not on yet because I still have to connect this existing box to the new meter box. They were so kind to take out some roots. To add this meter, it does not cost me anything extra on my monthly bill. And now it's approved. This is the existing underground that's not live. It's not working. I was hoping that they would do that before my baby chicks would come. Yesterday we finished moving our new brooders in here because this is going to be our new brooder space. I want to hang heat lamps from here, but there's no electricity. All right, all my calculations are correct. This light should work. It works! We're dipping the chicks' beaks into the water. There's apple cider vinegar in there. Zeke! You're a father, Zeke, you're a father. I mean, it took almost a year for them to have babies. So having the patience to not put them in the freezer, that took a lot. You know, back in the 70s, the Cooney was almost extinct, but people brought them back, and now I think they're becoming pretty popular. Throughout the whole year, we would go back and forth of wanting to sell them or putting them in our freezer. Still no babies yet with these two, and honestly, I'm thinking we're gonna sell them. Maybe she's in heat. Maybe.
Zeke! Aw, come on.
I just built her a new pig shelter so she could have her babies, and she's already sleeping in it. We're on countdown baby watch with our Cooney pig, and she's gonna be born or have babies in 2 days. Almost to the exact date of when Lorraine said, hey, I think they're gonna be born this date. They ended up being born the next day after that. We were like, oh my gosh, we have piglets. They all looked happy, healthy. We made it through the first night with our new Elvira piglets.
Next time I think I'll just crack the eggs in there.
And we have good news today. The power company just installed our meter. Now this property is a horse property, so everything's really high. I'm assuming because the horses won't chew on it. Turn this on. All right, we've got power. Almost lost faith in you, Zeke, almost. I knew you could do it, buddy. I knew you could do it. Where there's life, there's death. It's day 3 with the piglets, and we believe one of them got crushed. Lorraine also started seeing them venture out. One of them got out past that. Yeah, it looked like this one got crushed by mama, which I was afraid of. I mean, I've heard of those things happening, and you try to be cautious, but you know, you can't be in here 24/7 watching them. These ones still seem fine. They just kind of huddle together. Pretty exciting last few days here of just babies being born, which is awesome. And then we just got our new chickens, our meat chickens, 75 of them. And this, like what I said before in previous video, once we get those chickens, it's go time. Doing it in the morning when they're really hungry helps. Food motivation. They have a much bigger area now. And this is where we're gonna be putting a giant row of pumpkins. We have the 2 lines come up, and then this is going over under a pigtail, and then T-post holding it up. I say physical barrier, but you know, really they could bulldoze over this whole thing. Don't tell them that. A portable refrigerator helps also because it's movable and we can move it in closer to the house after it was down there. This is a side of beef. This has been hanging for 2 weeks. I'm just gonna pick one.
I didn't expect to go that way. You know what? I can carry this.
You got that?
Yeah. So I guess we got to cut this out now because that's all loose.
This is a smaller steer than our first steer we did in December. We almost think like maybe it was like a Dexter or something, or half, because it was 2 years old and it just didn't seem like it was growing big.
Wow, that's like butter. Woo! Is that our big roast for our big party?
Yep.
Wow.
Randy's got his job. Penelope's got her job. What's your job, Penelope?
Taking off the fat.
What's Mom's job?
Just cleaning up these cuts.
What's Grandma's job?
I'm measuring the steaks and sealing them.
Fat, grind, and this what the steaks are right there.
That needs to be packaged.
This go around, when compared to our first time doing it in December, I think we kind of already knew what to expect. and we knew like how to tackle it, that big piece of meat.
It was only half, and he was smaller, so.
I felt more comfortable.
Yeah.
Did you?
Oh yeah. I throw it in the oven roaster,
Yeah.
and then when I cook my bone broth, all this meat will fall off.
Piecing out that half took an hour, and we need to get the other half still and do that one.
Nothing to see here, nothing to see here.
And that's it. That's one whole side of beef we just finished. That took about 3.5 hours. We're saving all these bones. We gotta bag those up and freeze them.
So all of these bones I'm gonna save for bone broth. So I'm just wrapping them up in this paper.
It is kind of nice just doing the one half of beef versus both, because last time I think we didn't finish till like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. This is day 2 of putting away that half of beef, and today we're grinding.
To kind of get it down even smaller.
All right, we just made it home. Let's do a side-by-side comparison of what we butchered here as a family versus the pros over at Vandale Farms. This side is what we butchered and pieced out, and then this side is from the pros. Everything is nice and labeled. Right away, we like to flatten it.
It stacks better.
These are 1 pound packages also.
Yes. This is actually more ideal because this uses less of the vacuum seal bag, which is kind of expensive. So whereas we're using this giant sheet here just to flatten it and save space in our freezers.
All the ground here was 19 pounds versus the stuff that we had ground was 31 pounds. They're getting bigger, guys. Look at them. Usually in the morning they stand there. They're still asleep. And then they'll come out in the afternoon. They're probably just still kind of cold. She initially had 8 piglets, but she crushed one, or we think she crushed one, and it died. So the 7 that we still have are still going good. We're keeping Zeke separate still. It's here, guys. 9 yards of soil for our raised beds. Fly spray when this used to be a horse barn. There we go. We have these 3 raised beds that just got charred, and then now we got to put them together Shusugiban style. That's gonna seal the wood a little bit better, and hopefully it'll last longer. And then now we gotta bring it up the hill and then put them all together so we can start this garden. These beds are a year old. It's already kind of wearing down. I mean, they're still solid. But these ones, look how darker these are. Unless I did a better job this time. Slowly we're starting to plant more and more. That's the beauty of growing your own food. You could expand your garden. It doesn't have to stay at one spot. You could move it. So many things, no rules to this thing. We have 25, 75. They've been back here under these heat lamps for 3 weeks, and typically we raise them in here for about 3 to 4 weeks, but usually it's about 3 weeks because meat chickens, they grow pretty fast. This is what we just fixed. 7-year-old chicken tractor, 6-year-old chicken tractor, and this one's still going good. I don't have to repair this one. We have about 40 chickens in each tractor. Now I'm currently making another one, so that way I can split them up and do 25 in each tractor, because 40, what I've learned over the years, is too much. Too much for these tractors. I would say these would be maxed out at 30. But, you know, they're still little right now, so that gives me a little bit more time. All right, something we still have to do is empty this 2,000-pound tote of feed. Now that we're getting low on our pig feed, we have room to empty this bag. I think we're officially starting our busy season here. You know, trying to pretty much trying to grow as much food as we can. There we go. It's been raining pretty steady the last few days. I mean, look at this. This is always backed up like this, all that puddle. I still need to add some gutters. Just checking in on you guys. When we first looked at this property, the one thing that did sell me was not the house, was not the land. Well, the land is kind of nice, but it really was this 13 stall horse barn. Slowly I'm turning it into my wood shop. But what I've noticed over the last year is that when it rains really good, it leaks. The metal in this roof is over 30 years old. We might end up repairing some sections of it. I know definitely some of the wood needs to be repaired because it's just kind of rotted out wood, because when we first moved here, there was trees growing into this barn.
So there's one hole right there. See, I'm just looking for the ones that are loose.
It's a perfect day to be on a roof. Since our barn is still leaking here in the middle, it's mainly in the middle where this ridge cap is, we're gonna take out some of these nails.
Some are not too bad.
And they're just old nails. I wish we could say that I fixed the leaky barn roof in 2023, but that does not seem to be the case. We've had some good rains recently and it's still leaking. It's leaking there. It still floods all in here. It turns into a creek. So definitely gutters on this thing. Hopefully we could do this coming year. And hopefully we can fix these leaks and get this barn watertight. I started on the new chicken coop broiler chickens, and that's what I'm doing today. All right, let's check on our animals now. It's towards the evening. They got some much needed rain in this spot. It hadn't rained for a while, so now we're seeing it. Hey, pig. When it gets muddy like this, you gotta try just not to slip. Don't slip. Our new waters, I'm excited for those. Chickens on fresh grass. Actually more roomy in this style of coop that I made. I made the doorway a little bit wider, and I think it's also lighter. I used less material down on the sides here, and then around the door frame, less material. All right, she finally gave in. What a good mama.
Hey pigs. Hey pigs. Hey pigs. Hey pigs.
The first day of hiring the forestry mulcher, we cleared a lot of our horse fence line, and then also cleared me a path into our woods and then out towards our creek. And then the mulcher's coming out again today to do some more fence line clearing and also getting some random trees out in our pasture area. So right here we're gonna put a couple high tunnels. So I need them to knock down most of these trees. So I think if you're gonna do this, you probably better do it, you know, right when you move to a property, and then over time, the pastures should just get better. Some of these, like this cluster right here, I'm just gonna thin out with my chainsaw, so you couldn't get like, you know, in there if there's like a cluster of trees. You know, we're just trying to keep these trees for shade for our animals. Hiring this mulcher was one of the best decisions we've ever made with our new property. Before we couldn't run our steers in certain areas, and now we can. And the amount of work that a mulcher did in 2 days with just us, I mean, it would have probably taken us 2 years. And the only thing left to do is maintain our land. And if we maintain it, I shouldn't ever have to hire a forestry mulcher again.
Ready, let's go get the bees. Look, if you put that on, it won't like.
I know, so we need one more. So I could get one. I could get in there all through all the family. And these are made out of pine. Part of me was like, hey, I could just build those boxes because I think it'll be fun. But at the same time, maybe I would just buy one, see how it works, see how it's put together, and then if we like bees, maybe I could build future boxes.
Oh yeah, that seems good.
Oh my gosh.
And you asked to wear the bee if you wish, if it's sure. Okay, we're gonna be calm. I don't know if I can open this. Okay. All right. Good, more smoke. Give it all the smoke. All the smoke.
Wow. That's awesome.
Okay, so we're looking for a queen. She's got a longer body.
Is she painted on at all?
She could be painted on. I do not.
There's only gonna be one queen in there?
One queen, and she's got a longer body than the rest. Is that, no?
I don't see. I don't notice.
I have never been around this many bees. Oh, there she is. She's got a red mark. Let's show the camera. She's right there. There's the queen. Yay, we got her. Okay, so don't kill her.
Okay.
We gotta be super careful with that one. Oh, we did it. Oh my gosh. This is...
Good job.
Oh my gosh. At least they're not on me.
We still got another hive.
They know their way, and you can already tell see the one that's sticking his butt up? They're gonna start all sticking their butt up and telling all the rest of them to come in here. So seeing you.
What's that right there in the middle?
Oh, there it is. There's the
Yeah,
queen.
I see her.
She's a big one.
Yeah, she is.
Okay, well, let's put them in.
I say it was a successful year with the bees, even though we did not get honey this year, which that was the plan. So hopefully this coming year we'll get some, but I say it was a success only because they did not fly away and they have not died yet. So we're successful this first year.
Till the land.
Good job. Yay!
Oh my God.
You did so good.
I've never been around that many bees before. I've never been stung by a bee.
We're gonna do it, guys. We're gonna finally try to put pigs in the woods, something I've wanted to do all year.
Hey, pigs.
Come on, Booty, look at you. Come on. There we go. Shut that door.
Hi, pigs.
You can, if you pivot to the left.
Hey, pigs. Hey, pigs. Hey, pigs. Hey, pigs. Hey, pigs. Hey, pigs.
Let's go.
Hey, pigs. Hey, pigs. Hey, pigs.
Pigs in the woods. Yeah.
There's so much space here.
They even want to feed. Pigs in the woods. Pigs in the woods. Since I first saw that you could raise pigs in the woods, that was 7 years ago. And so it took us 7 years to put pigs in the woods. That's a new t-shirt. Pigs in the woods. Hey, pigs. What'd you get? What is that? A happy birthday balloon? Oh my gosh. Don't eat that. Pretty sure those balloons can kill an animal if they try to eat it. You got shocked. That scares me every time. These probably came from a birthday party. And this is where it landed. Pigs are smart enough not to eat this. Otherwise, they probably would have. What makes these pigs so special is that they're grazing pigs. And they need very little grain. Just to compare between how much feed we're feeding the coonies versus the feeder pigs. I'm feeding them a 5-gallon bucket in the morning and maybe about a half a 5-gallon in the evening.
Hey, pigs. Hey, pigs.
Moving from 1.5 acres to 14 acres, we might as well be living on a 1,000-acre ranch in Montana because everything looks so much bigger. And we are getting a little bit more used to it, but as we're living here only a year, we are realizing that, you know, we need some kind of vehicle, maybe a farm vehicle, utility vehicle to help us get stuff done. Now, we just got this gorilla cart when we moved here, and it does a good job of hauling stuff, but it does have its limits. You really feel the burn when you have to haul up 5-gallon buckets of water up to our meat chickens. The first thing that came to my mind was a side-by-side, because I have friends that have side-by-sides, but they're just so expensive. Even the used ones I find, they're either super beat up or crazy expensive. I thought about using a golf cart. I've seen people use those on their farm, which I think is pretty fun. It should be dual purpose because we are a one-car family and we have been for the past 12 years. And having a farm vehicle that I can do stuff around the farm and take to the hardware store would be a plus. And then I seen these Japan 4x4 farm trucks. Woo!
So, let me hold that.
Oh,
Yeah.
please, thank you. So I haven't drove stick probably since high school.
Yeah, that's totally fine. This could work for a homesteader.
Oh, for sure. I think this definitely can. Now, this could pull something.
Oh,
If
yeah.
I wanted to pull something.
Oh yeah, a Suzuki is the one mini truck that you can easily put a hitch on.
All right guys, here it is, 1992. 4-wheel drive. It's street legal. It's right-hand drive. This is gonna take some time to get used to. Look at that. We made it. But mainly it's gonna be a farm truck where it's gonna take us and help us do stuff and help us work our land and help us do more farming stuff, more homesteading things. And I think it's just gonna make our lives a lot easier. One of the most important purchases this year was definitely this mini truck. When we were on our 1.5 acres, I didn't have a nice barn like this. So I made a pig hoist and that worked wonderful. But what I've learned by making that hoist is that the height that needs to be to scald a pig needs to be at least 14 feet high. That beam that we've been using to hoist things is 12 feet high. That beam is not tall enough, but the very top beam on the ridge up there, that is 15 feet high. So we need to get up there because we need to scald this next pig. Adding this longer cord, it's not in the directions. They say it can be done, but they don't tell you how or what part number or anything like that. So you really do have to figure it out. We're gonna test something out here. We have a tote of pig feed.
950, 800, 280, 300.
Pretty sure the pigs are not gonna weigh more than 365. Something that we're able to do more and more of is to do more hands-on in-person workshops, and this barn helps us with that. For the first time, we hosted 2 pig butchering workshops, and instead of us doing the workshop alone, we partnered with my friend Billy from Pastures. He came down and we hosted a workshop together. Between the pig workshops, and then also we did more chicken workshops this year. And we can't forget our build workshop that we did this year, building a chicken tractor. See, the trick is to try to have these all
2096. Me!
We have folks coming from all over the country, either driving long distances or flying in to come here to take our workshops, which we're super thankful for, and we hoped to host more workshops in this coming year. We have chickens, guys. We just picked up chickens from the post office, and we also have turkeys. Turkeys are here. We are just starting the busy season here on our homestead. Bernice, good morning, Bernice. Currently, this is the most animals we've ever had at one time. 200 chickens and 10 pigs. And today, we're supposed to get more chickens and turkeys. We have a broody hen in here. We don't have broody hens very often, but we have one right now. We're trying to let her, hopefully she'll lay some eggs and baby chicks for us. Let's see. Let's see what's underneath here. It's all right. See what you got. There's probably like 2 dozen eggs down there. I don't see any babies. It's all right. I'm letting you be. I'm letting you hatch them. Hopefully you'll hatch some baby chicks for us. We're gonna separate the turkeys. We have 15 turkeys and then 40 meat chickens in this one. There's apple cider vinegar here, maybe a cap full, and water. And then it's best to count them just to make sure, see how many you have, because it's pretty typical that the hatchery will send you extras. I'm still getting used to this truck having it. It's pretty nice though, you know. Before I'd be, you know, I only have 2 hands, plus I have a camera. And, you know, I can only take so much when I go out and feed the animals, so it's literally 2 buckets or 1 bucket. But now I can put a whole mess load of buckets of feed back there and just take it up and just start feeding the animals with it. One thing that you learn very quickly is that how fast your freezers full up. And that's a good thing to have. But also, do I want to buy another freezer? Or do we just want to cook a half a hog and invite some friends over? Woo!
Feel good about it?
I'm good. I might blow it, but I'm good.
All right. 1,
Okay.
yeah. Awesome. 1, 2, 3.
What hour is this?
Oh, I don't know.
14?
14, 4 o'clock.
14 hours.
14 hours, yep.
And it's finally ready.
It's finally ready.
All right.
Yeah.
Who wants to help?
All right. This thing looks awesome. We'll carry it all the way through. We go straight down the middle.
All right. We're coming through.
I don't want to get in the way of that.
Usually that's a pretty good sign that it's done. And the blade comes out just like that.
All right, Nick, moment of truth. I'm gonna try it. Dude, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Organic pasture raised pork. You can't buy this stuff,
No.
right?
No. The stuff you buy doesn't taste anything like this.
Let me tell you, cooking a half a hog was a lot funner than buying a freezer. And I hope we can do that at least once a year. Our 7 Kuni piglets are about 2 months old now. And right around that time is when we're gonna wean them off, but actually, they've been slowly doing it themselves. You ready to kick these babies out? I've been putting off something that I don't wanna do, but it needs to be done. We need to castrate some of the males. One of the males we sold, and we're keeping him intact. He's gonna be a breeder pig. And then 2 of the males, we need to castrate. We need to castrate 3 males.
Just put it back. I can't be out here.
That was the worst thing ever. That was the worst thing. It seemed to like go all right, but being that, man, it's so weird doing that. They seem okay. So that worked out. Driving it over there, Elvira, she was fine. Didn't not even know what's going on. She's busy with her watermelon. But it's a little nerve-wracking. And they're pigs. Pigs are pretty hardy creatures. It's gonna take a lot. But they seem fine. We're castrating them because of boar taint. You know, when you butcher the pig, it might give off a little bit of taste, a little bit of bad taste. And also we don't want them to reproduce with each other. You know, these are brothers and sisters. Don't want that either. And we don't want more pigs. We just want the 2 breeders, Elvira and Zeke, and that's it. And then, you know, maybe we'll probably breed them at least once a year. As you continue to live this lifestyle and raising animals, and then animals being born on your land, I mean, it's really just all about experience. And the more we experience these things, the more confident we're gonna be at them, and the more used to doing these type of things, like castrating pigs. I mean, such a learning curve there, you know, and the only way to learn is to experience it yourself and get in there. Every time we do something like this, it's not gonna be fun. But what I hope to be is just more used to it and know what needs to be done and get it done and do it right. It's later on in the afternoon and I'm gonna see what they're doing. Let's see how our little piggies are doing. They all look good. Good job, piggies. Good job, piggies. I see happy tails wagging. That's a good sign. To be honest, it's a lot easier to grow meat than it is to grow vegetables. Between our pigs, our beefy boys that we have in our freezer, all of our chickens that we raise, you know, we grow 100% of our meat. You guys sound like squeaky toys. One of our goals is to produce vegetables for us, of course, and then produce vegetables for our animals, especially these coonies. Am I raising vegan pigs? I mean, you could grow a chicken in like 6 weeks for your freezer. You don't have to worry about groundhogs eating them, or aphids, or moles, beetles. These beetles will destroy a garden. Horrible soil. And all you gotta do is move them around in the coop. You don't even need grass to raise them. But having a successful garden is gonna take some time. Last year we had about 5 raised garden beds. This year I made 5 more, so we have 10 total.
In this bed I've got strawberries, and then I planted a whole bunch of lettuces and kale. We have harvested so much lettuce already. Peas trellising on this trellis here. I like how it goes all the way around in an arc. You can eat them while they're young and tender and eat the whole thing, but what we like to do is wait until they get about this big. We do have 2 different varieties, a blush variety on the side and then a green variety on the side, but we like to wait until they get this big, and then we like to eat the peas in the inside. And we've grown so many peas this year and harvested so many that we're able to take them inside and fill up a container and have it as a side dish.
And this year we just moved our garden to this spot because it's closer to our house. It's not so far away, and this is mainly going to be our kitchen garden. When Lorraine's making a delicious meal, she can just walk out her back door. All right, good job, Penelope. Look at this one. These came out really nice. We have since moved our turkeys into the coop. More space. This is our mama hen, and these are the first chickens that we ever hatched. She only hatched 2, but they're doing pretty good. And this one has a limpy leg. Her leg's like stuck straight, but it's, I mean, still moving around pretty good. We've been letting them out of their coop and let them roam around a little bit more. He does seem to fall behind, but I mean, he's still going pretty good. He looks healthy. Some of them get it. There's still some in there. They're like, I don't know. I'm not sure about that, guys. I think I'll stay safe in here. This is the pig netting. Don't tell them, but they can actually fly over. If these were the Cornish crosses, they definitely could not fly over the pig net. These are Murray's big red broilers from McMurray Hatchery. My favorite meat chicken to raise. Winna, chicken dinner. At this point, they are a huge investment. We fed them all the feed, moving them, all the labor it takes. They're gonna be 12 weeks before we put them in our freezer. Putting a net around them, you know, yeah, it's more work, but it's also a peace of mind, because even though this never happened to me, I've never had or lost a chicken in these coops. But I also know it's only a matter of time before that happens. We just planted our new pumpkin patch a couple weeks ago. It's already growing. And every time we do something like this, whether it's our animal up the mountain or a new garden spot, I always think about water, how we're gonna get water to it. Especially after it gets a huge downpour here, I think I should be saving this water. We have pumpkins, watermelons, and then we just planted sunflowers. The one thing that was important for me when building this is that I wanted it to be movable. It's coming down now. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but hopefully it's enough to fill them up. I don't have to water the garden tonight, but let's check on our rain tower. Now that I extended the roof line for the whole entire year, I should save about 980 gallons of water. Okay, maybe to about right there. Try it. Yeah, it works. We got water, guys. This week we had a much needed break from the homestead and we were able to get away and go to the beach. For those who've never been on the East Coast beach, the water feels like a warm bath. I mean, I'm used to going to like Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, out west, and the water's always super cold. But this one, it's not. It's amazing. And it always takes a lot to leave. But we wanted to go to the beach. And it's a nice little fun family break. Since leaving my 9-to-5 job, I always felt like I did not deserve a vacation. In my mind, I felt like I didn't do enough to deserve one. Before we started living this lifestyle, I've always read quotes where it said, create the life that you don't need a vacation from. Well, I don't know if that's true anymore because we have created that life and I feel like we still need a vacation. Because if I'm here, I'm working, I'm doing stuff. So for me, getting away from the homestead is important because that almost forces me to turn it off. After 4 days of being out on the beach in the water, it's time to get back to it. I'm feeling recharged and ready to finish off this year strong. I pulled up the work truck and then now I need to load up my tools and head up the mountain and finish off this shed. You know when we haven't got a lot of rain is when this IBC tote is almost empty. It's down to there. I mean, this tote has been full all summer long. After a year of hauling buckets and hoses on 14 acres, that gets old pretty quickly. This year we installed this 1,000-gallon rain tank on top of our property in hopes for this coming year we could utilize it to gravity feed the water to all of our animals. I'm going to strap that into this piece of wood. And we are full. I can add another tank like this right next to that one. Yeah, there we go. For now, this structure is our picnic table. And also this coming up year, I see it being a shade structure for larger animals. All right. So we're showing little Miss P here how to drive. Come pick me up, drive it around. Yeah. All right. All right. Good job. How's that feel to drive?
Good.
Yeah? Believe it or not, these white broad-breasted turkeys from McMurray Hatchery are 16 weeks old. These turkeys are our heritage breed turkeys. As much as I do want to let them out, if I did, they would probably fly away on me because they are that skittish. Unless I feel like going turkey hunting. I have 6 of them and nobody has died on me yet. I don't know if these ones are gonna be ready for Thanksgiving. The white turkeys definitely will be. With the hard compacted soil plus trees, especially in this horse arena area, we needed to bring in a machine to knock all that down. The soil is crazy hard, very hard, compact. Now we could actually work it, you know? I can put some rows now and we could plant some seeds. No matter how you look at it, it's gonna be a little bit of work. I think if I didn't cover the soil, it would be really hard right now. I wouldn't be able to even work in it. And now the next step is getting that soil, that good soil, and putting it right on top of the rows. Hurry up, you got it, Penelope. Almost there.
Oh, 2905.
And now it's towards the end of September and it's time to harvest. The squash bugs had their way with our garden. We planted more than what we need. Some for us, some for the pigs, some for the squash bugs, some for the groundhogs, some for the deer.
So many nasty bugs. Look, there's even like a furry caterpillar right there.
That's it for today. That's actually most of it, guys. A bucket full of soft veggies for the pigs. Plus we have still more out there for the pigs. Pigs always stick their nose in the air like, what's that? What's that? What's that? What's that?
Alright. Here's the pumpkin.
This is old horse fence. So currently there's high tensile and it's meant for larger animals, but we need this fence to be secure for pigs and sheep. That's my biggest threat to my animals right now, is a stray dog or a neighbor's dog. And this part is where they would always come in. There's something very satisfying by a clean fence line. I picked up some more posts and then I'm still waiting on extra material to come in. But there's no fence here. Dogs just come in freely. Lorraine's clearing a path. Yeah, man. We're getting it. Well, that wasn't too bad. When you start taking out stuff that you've already put in, that's what makes it the whole project longer. The wild world of fencing. It's a whole new world. And after I took out the stretcher bar, it still felt really tight. The best way to learn, like many other things when you trying to build a farm, is you have to do it with your own hands. You can watch so many videos. I mean, I've watched a ton already on how to build woven wire fence, put in posts, but it's just nothing like getting the materials and start doing it. You're gonna make mistakes. It's very different than watching a video. First job today, we need to move this big tote of soil with my new bumper and tow hitch. It comes in handy so much. No pigs, I already fed you. This is not for you, it's not feed. So the hardneck will produce scapes.
Yes, so the hard neck is going in this bed, and we'll know that it's a hard neck because it'll produce scapes. Soft neck is going in this bed.
Another raised bed.
Oh, we have plenty of room.
Something is telling me that I am short on feed. 362. 362 minus 29, 330 times 3. Okay, all right. 999 pounds. We're good. A challenge this year for me was learning more about our well system. We had our well go low on us and go out for a whole day, our well water. And this year I definitely learned a whole lot about our well system. Sometimes stuff like that doesn't sound too fun, but it's very important as a homestead owner to figure out and to learn yourself, so that way you don't have to rely on somebody else to come in and tell you what's wrong with it. If we can figure out how to troubleshoot, it will just help us in the long run, help us save money, and just help us learn how to manage our well water. So far this year, the Cooney piglets that we had have been a real joy. I mean, they're easygoing, they don't eat a whole lot of feed, and they're great grass eaters. But we're gonna be butchering them here this coming up year, and we'll see how they are. You know, we'll see how much meat we actually get from them, how much lard, because they are mainly a lard pig. And then from there, we're gonna decide if we wanna continue raising these Coonies. So this year we're gonna put these 4 pigs in the freezer. Probably not till fall time, but they're getting bigger. We just put the 2 breeders back together, and hopefully by this March, we'll have some more piglets for our freezer and to sell. Currently we have about 80 days until the 2024 spring season begins. And so hopefully we can finish our fence line before that happens, finish our high tunnel, hopefully bring in some sheep, some beef, more chickens, more turkeys, growing more food, and continue to live the life that we want to live. And that is growing food, building stuff, working for ourselves, being happy as a family, and sharing what we learn with all of you. Thank you guys for watching, and this year is going to be our best one yet as we continue to convert this old horse property into our family farm of our dreams.